All right. We got a life episode today, folks. That's right. Kevin's Wild Summer. You read the title already. We got me, of course, Jake Sherbing, with guest Kevin Thomas. Obviously, someone named Kevin was going to be on the show. And he's here to talk about his crazy summer. He recently got married with two pretty big cameos, John Calipari, Carl Anthony Towns, and a pretty ridiculous and crazy honeymoon. So he decided to come on. We're going to talk a little what's it like to get married, what was it like for him to get married, and what it's like to be married. So it's a live episode today, folks. And we'll get into a little bit of our nerdy whatnots. All right. Enough of me talking. Cue the music. All right, welcome to Don't Evolve Me, the place like Ash catching Pikachu. We don't evolve, we just level up, and we got a life episode on our hands. Here, we are welcoming our friend Kevin Thomas. Kevin, welcome.
Hey, happy to be here, Jake.
I'm happy to have you. So it's interesting because I asked you to be on in March,
Yeah.
and you're like, you know what? I'm really, really busy this summer. Hit me in August, and I was like, I forgot that you're getting married. I forgot you got engaged. And then you said, I'm getting married. And I'm like, okay, wait, how busy are you? Like, I
Yeah.
was questioning a little bit because you said you're busy. I'm like, I know weddings are busy because like I got married and I had probably about 300 to 400 people at my wedding.
Oh,
And it
wow.
was, it was a decent amount. It was a lot of planning. So I'm like, I get the busyness, but 5 months. And then I watched like throughout the months on your like social media channel, and I was like, "Holy shit! Nope, he's busy. All right, I understand." Like I saw your wedding,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Holy shit, that's a wedding!" Like I thought I had a
Yeah.
big wedding, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm seeing like all the guests at your wedding. We got John Calipari, right?
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
then the one that surprised me was like somebody was like, I got to meet an NBA star at Kevin and
Yeah.
Ashley's wedding. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, what? I'm like, well, I guess Kentucky. And then I saw it was Carl Anthony Towns. Like, who,
Yep.
who is
Yeah.
this guy? All right.
Yep. And Jordan Woods. Yep. So,
Yeah,
uh,
we will
yeah.
get into it. And then I saw then you went on your honeymoon. And it
Hmm.
wasn't like a honeymoon that most people take where it's like a week or two. No, there was like it was like 3 4 weeks later. Like I'm in Morocco. I was like, wait, you're still on a honeymoon? God damn,
Yeah.
Kevin. All right,
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah,
I'm
man.
positively judging you, but like there was a little bit of envy. Like here I am, like not doing much in the summer, and I see Kevin just yep, my fourth European city. I'm like, cool. All right, damn,
Oh no,
Kevin.
man. Yeah, man. So,
So I'm titling this episode Kevin's Wild Summer because I am just in like intrigued with your like whole summer. Plus, it's been a while since we caught up.
yeah, for sure. So I guess we'll start with wedding stuff. Uh
Um, yeah,
or
you know what? No. I had an order of things, but you know what? Let's just start with wedding stuff because I feel like once we get into nerdy stuff, it's going to take a while to get out of it. So let's
yeah.
start with the wedding stuff. I want to hear the story.
Yeah. So we started wedding planning. So we got engaged October of 2021.
Okay.
Um and we started wedding planning. I want to say like I think we found a planner maybe like early December or so. And then we were really into it, after that. Um, so this kind of sentimental. So we got engaged October 2021, and then, found a wedding planner that my wife's best friend um, had suggested. And
Okay.
December 2021, we lost that best friend
Mm.
unexpectedly. Um, so wedding planning after that was was kind of hard,
Yeah.
because she wasn't doing it with her best friend and different
Mm.
things. But we had a really good team. So our wedding planner is based out of Atlanta, originally from Alabama. Um, she's the Sharp Standard on Instagram and all her social media handles.
Nice. I think I clicked on her page because I saw.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And she's done, host of events. I mean, it's more than just wedding planning. She's doing baby showers. She's I think University of Alabama with the football team. I think they have her as like their perennial um, event planner or whatever for like their end of the year banquet thing or whatever.
Oh,
So yeah, it's big
that's
things. But
that's pretty prestige.
yeah, yeah. So um um and that's not a flex. It's just saying it
Yeah.
like that. Who it was,
Mhm.
and so then she had her team that together and everything, and um, so I didn't, for me, it was a lot about trying to, get my looks and stuff like that together that were,
Mhm.
ended up being custom made. I ended up actually having to fly out to the DC area a couple times because the person that was helping me with my wedding look,
Mhm.
he had a connection out there. So I met him out there in the DMV area, which was kind of cool because I had always wanted to go to kind of like DC and whatnot, and so that was kind of cool to shoot out there for a couple times. And then yeah, man. So we had a lot of things we were trying to coordinate. And then the big thing for me was the bachelor party, bachelor situation. We ended up going to Vegas. Um, we originally were trying to go to New Orleans, but that didn't pan out. So we ended up going to Vegas for a few days, and that was a lot of fun. Actually, I have
What
a cousin in my wedding that's lives out in Vegas now. Uh,
what'd you guys do for your bachelor party?
yeah, man, like I said, like we went different places out to eat, to kind of hang out. Like I said, like saw some girls and stuff like that. Man, got a chance to walk along the strip, and
Nice.
um, we got a chance to go into a couple of clubs and things. Yeah, man, it was a vibe, and that was my first time going out to Vegas. I had been
Yeah.
saying to I had wanted to visit my cousin out there for a while, and I had never. It just didn't work out with my schedule, but when we
Mhm.
decided to go out to Vegas, that was awesome. So it was good to kind of be out there, and I definitely want to go back.
Yeah.
Uh, that was
I
a fun time.
I've only been there once, and it was on the way to Los Angeles for kind of like it was a road trip, so to speak. I mean, no, it was a road trip. We drove like 30 hours to get there. And I remember I was the one driving. We drove to Vegas, and I don't sleep well in cars.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I had maybe an hour or two of sleep through like a day of driving. So I,
Oh wow.
I went out to the strip for like 2 3 hours, and then by the time like 8 o'clock went around, I was like, I'm going to bed. I can't
Yeah.
do this. Like I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I can imagine after driving that long. I mean, that's
Yeah.
crazy. Um, yeah, and so they were actually talking about that whenever we were out in Vegas, how like a lot of people from LA are like coming out to Vegas now and stuff like that.
But yeah, moving and stuff because it's cheaper.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It
So
seems like a lot of people are. If it's not Las Vegas, it's Austin. Usually Austin, I think,
yeah,
is the biggest city.
yeah, a lot of people, Austin, Dallas, people are moving down there
Hmm.
too. I feel like just Texas in general, people are kind of moving down there.
Yeah.
Uh, so, but yeah, man. So Vegas was great, and then we by the time we were coming up on the wedding, man, I mean, and then in between that, I think I was doing like like work stuff or like
Hmm.
traveling and stuff like that. My job is based in Atlanta, so I had to go to Atlanta a few times, and in between there, um, no, it was good. It was good, and then so the wedding, so we had. You said yours was like 340 people. We didn't have that many, and I felt like it was a lot from what
Wait,
we
you
had.
didn't have that many? It seemed like you had like 1,000.
No, no,
Okay.
no. We had it was about maybe 275.
Okay.
As we so we got married at the Cincinnati Union Terminal. It's a
Hmm.
museum out in Cincinnati. I think that's
It looks gorgeous. I'm looking at pictures and you're like looking everything. Everything
yeah.
just looks beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, so we picked that venue because my wife liked the Art Deco kind of like design
Hmm.
and stuff, and she just really just fell in love kind of like with that place once they visited it. So and we couldn't find anything that really fit that in Kentucky. So so yeah, so we went out there. And we actually did some things that the museum hadn't done before, which was we used we had the ceremony like outside. They
Hmm.
didn't do that before, and we
Hmm.
were the altar kind of like was at the top of the fountain, whatnot. The
Oh,
water
cool.
itself wasn't on. I think because it wasn't that time of the year yet for it,
Oh,
uh, but yeah, the it was definitely cool to have that, nice setup. May walking down the aisle, a little bit of
yeah.
of a workout.
Wait. Is it on the fountain or like on top of the fountain?
Yeah, like yeah. So there was
I'm gonna try to find a picture of that.
yeah. So the altar was like at the top, and then like nothing was covering the fountain, but like you had people like seated like on the sides of it.
Okay.
Um, and then and then it's stairs and as you're making your way up to the museum itself. So so yeah, we had people all sitting on those stairs, and then the aisle was up along one side of the stairs, and then usually would go down the other. um so that's what made it a little bit of a workout.
Yeah,
But yeah,
man. I'm looking at a picture of you stepping, and you're very cautious with your
yeah,
first
'cause
step.
I didn't want to fall on my ass, man. Like it
Well,
just
that's fair.
in the middle. I was like, what, man? I didn't. I was just thinking, like, so, like, do not fall. Like, smile and do not fall.
Yeah.
So,
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave, and
exact
don't
smile and
fall.
wave. Exactly. So,
What was your walk off song?
mine was like my
Like,
walk-in song was "Industry Baby" by Lil Nas X. Played the
okay. Oh,
instrument.
nice, nice.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So,
Wait, your walk in or your walk off?
my walk in song. So
Oh,
our
gotcha.
walk off song was shoot. Oh man, it's like a blur now.
No, you're
I
good.
my
It's
wife
just
my wife would probably know more than I would.
putting you on the spot. She's gonna watch this later and be like, Kevin.
I know. But but man, everything it just went by so fast, man. Like I remember, like I said, like by the time we got into the museum itself, like for the reception and all that stuff, man, like it just went by so fast. I'm sure
Mhm.
like so like your wedding day,
Oh, yeah.
like you're you're up, you're trying to talk to people, you're trying
Mhm.
to make everybody because as a couple, you're hosting people basically,
Yeah.
and like you're trying to talk to everybody and everything. And then I'm sure, like I said, if you were like me, your feet hurt because you got some
Mhm.
tight shoes that well not necessarily tight but like they're shoes that you normally wouldn't wear all the time, and so like they're not necessarily broken
I
in.
think I
And
wore tennis shoes, if I remember correctly. I wore something comfortable.
well, you were a smarter man than me because
I
because yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
I had jeans too. It was a very more of a comfortable fit.
Okay, okay, well, I mean, yeah, we probably tried to put on our best dress and everything, and
Yeah.
it was
You look
we
sharp.
looked good in the pictures, but it was well, we like I said, man, I had not been
Mhm.
that tired, and like for forever, man. Like it was funny because I remember that the DJ was like last dance or something like that, and I was just like, and it was like I was like, holy shit, Last Dance. And I was like, oh, thank God, Last Dance. Like, it was kind of like that. Like, yeah.
I no,
So,
I completely feel. So with my wedding of like 300-400 people, more people showing up to the reception, and I'm remembering the venue. It didn't feel like there was 300-400 people, but there was. And I
yeah.
remember trying to just talk to everybody, and I feel like it just didn't have time to really soak in everything. It just went by so fast. Talk to this
You
person, talk
know,
to this person. And I'm like, I
mhm,
don't remember a single conversation I had that entire day because it went by so fast. Especially
I,
with like and then reception, you get a little liquored up, and everyone wants to buy you shots, and yeah, your whole evening just kind of slips.
yeah. That's kind of how it was.
So I was gonna say you had cool cameos, and I'm like, wait a second, I had literally had somebody dress up as Deadpool the entire time.
I did see that. I
Yeah,
was like, oh shit, that's so
yeah,
cool.
that was my friend Aaron, and I told him I'd do the same for his wedding. He's like, no, no, I'm good. I'm like, what if I get Ryan Reynolds to show up? And he's like, if you can pull that off, then yes. Otherwise, no Deadpool. And I'm like, God damn it, man! I owe you one.
Right. No, man, that was so cool, man. And so appropriate. And I was going to say, like, so we got um, the cameos that we had,
Mhm.
because my wife's dad, my father-in-law, he has been in athletics for years.
Oh, okay. I
And
was wondering what the
yeah,
connection is.
yeah. He's been in athletics. Matter of fact, he's still in athletics. He's and
Cool.
one of the head administrators in the athletics department at the University of Kentucky, which is actually how him and I met, which is how I eventually met his daughter. So, but prior to that, he's been in. He used to be a strength and conditioning coach in
Mhm.
the NFL, NBA,
Mm.
different college teams, and so yeah, when he linked up with Coach Calipari, he when he came, when they first linked up, I think when they started coaching together,
Mhm.
I want to say it was in somewhere probably like on the East Coast or something like that. Uh, I don't know if it was UMass, but something. And then he moved from there to no, it was when he was with the Nets. It was when he was with the
Mm.
Nets. That's what it was. He was with the Nets, and then he moved from there to Memphis. And then they followed him from Memphis, and then he eventually so now they're actually on their second, him, his wife, and my wife's family.
Mhm.
They're actually on their second tour in Lexington, Kentucky, because they were here when Coach Patino was coaching UK, and
Oh,
they
cool.
my father-in-law was part of that coaching staff. Um,
Wow.
yeah, man. So that's really how. And Carl Anthony Towns was a part of the last group of guys that my father-in-law. He was on the coaching staff.
Mhm.
So he was a strength and conditioning coach for Carl while he was here, and um, and him and my wife have a really type relationship because they actually my wife met Carl when he was here at UK, and then
Okay.
um, actually kind of followed him back to Minneapolis because so my wife, she's an attorney by trade,
Okay.
and she's a diversity and equity professional. That's what her career has been on, but
Mhm.
she went to law school, has her law degree, and she did that up in Minneapolis at St. Thomas.
Cool.
And so yeah, she did that, and then she came back because originally she was going to quote go into the family business,
Mhm.
going into she wanted to go to law school because she wanted to be a sports agent originally, then decided she didn't want to do that, and so then she went post civil rights diversity stuff. So but so she came back to Kentucky from law school. She's was here in Lexington for like a year or so working in the athletics department.
Mhm.
And then when Carl got drafted back to, when he got drafted to Minneapolis,
Yep.
she ended up taking a job. coming back to Minneapolis in higher
Hmm.
education. I think she worked at one of the local community colleges or something that
Hmm.
out there, and so they were in Minneapolis together, and so that
Oh,
was the thing that kind of got them, closer and stuff like
yeah.
that, and so yeah, like she's
That's a really cool connection.
yeah,
And like
yeah.
I did not know that, like I was not aware that your wife and like Carl, I think you mentioned, I feel like you mentioned this before, that she's from, or she used to go to Minneapolis. So that would
Yeah,
make sense.
yeah, yep,
So,
and yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, so you had conversations with Carl Anthony Towns?
I have. I mean,
What's he
like,
like?
man, he is very goofy. He's like he's so
Okay.
funny. And yeah, man, like he's pretty cool. Really, like so, like really down to earth. I like I said, I don't have. I'm just letting the record reflect. I do not
Yep.
have Carl's number, so I
Oh.
can't. I'm asking for tickets. I can't.
Well,
Uh,
I didn't plan on asking, but thank you
no,
for
right,
letting
right,
me know.
right, right. No, no, I didn't. No, I didn't think that you would. I'm just for your audience, just whatever. But like I said, um, but that was going to be something, and I don't think that it was time. But eventually, like I said, and I hope that we get there, before, while you guys are up there, because my
Mhm.
wife wants to take me to Minneapolis to kind of like see some of the sites
Yeah.
that's kind of sentimental for her while she was in law
Mhm.
school and stuff that. And subsequently, that's also where she met her late best friend. They
Mm.
met up in Minneapolis, and but she wants to take me up there, and so we might hang out with Carl when he's when we're up there too. But again, I have no idea when that's going to be.
Yeah.
We were trying to see if maybe we could do it this year, but whenever we're in Minneapolis,
Mhm.
I'll let you know for sure.
Yep.
As
Please
I would,
do.
yeah, I would love to
I
connect with you. I flew through Minneapolis actually, but like again, I didn't walk around. I literally just was in the airport for like less than an hour,
And
maybe.
you didn't let me know? How dare you?
I know, I know. Well, you like said, like because I was coming back from Vegas.
Oh, yep.
So yeah, yeah, yeah. I flew back through there on my making my way back to Kentucky. So actually flew from there to Cincinnati back to Kentucky. So,
No.
but yeah, man, I was just like, yeah, this is the closest I've gotten to Minneapolis, man. Like I said, and I did think about you when I was
Yeah.
there. I just didn't. Like it's like so, like it's not like I can. It's not like I can pull up on them. Like so I missed my
Oh,
flight,
yes.
but
Yeah,
but
please. Yeah, but, I mean, I would be ecstatic to see you, but if I learned that you missed your flight to do so, I'm like, man, you just plan a trip.
right, right, exactly, exactly. So
Remember
yeah, man.
remember that place I told you about, Duluth?
Yes.
And I was telling you about it. I'm like, oh, it's so pretty. And I'm like, I'm actually going up there this weekend for my sister's wedding.
Oh, nice.
So both my sisters have like this flair for beautiful natural weddings. Shout out to both my
Okay.
sisters. So
Yeah.
my sister Mariah and her now late husband Derek, they got married out in Arizona, Grand Canyon. And
Okay.
so
Wow.
yes, so it was like literally on like this little peak edge, and like their pictures are just like freaking gorgeous.
Wow.
And then so my sister Haley and her brother-in-law Michael, who he goes on the show to talk The Last of Us when it was coming out. They're getting married at Gooseberry's Falls, which everyone in Minnesota knows about. Not so much maybe the United States of America, but it's like 30 minutes north of Duluth, and it's just like a series of waterfalls that lead into Lake Superior. It's gorgeous, especially during the fall with like the autumn leaves. It's gorgeous.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I was like, man, I'm going to Duluth. I remember talking to Kevin about Duluth and him having no idea what Duluth, Minnesota is.
Yes, and now, like I said, I think I even mentioned that to my wife, and she was
Hmm.
like, "Yeah, Duluth is really pretty." So, yeah, man, I just got to do a Minnesota like just need you to like show me around all the cool state stuff, man.
Oh, I'd be down. I would say where I'm at, St. Cloud, it's pretty, but it's not like a place to visit to. It's kind of in between.
Okay.
Yeah, Minneapolis though, Minneapolis, Twin Cities area, gorgeous. Duluth,
Yeah.
gorgeous. I mean, northern Minnesota up the north, like the North Shore, is just
Mhm.
gorgeous. Doesn't even seem like it's Minnesota,
Yeah.
and lake life too.
Okay. Yeah, true, man. Yeah, because I definitely want to get to like Mall of America and like see some of those lakes and stuff
Eh,
like that. So, um,
Mall of America. Eh.
I know, such a tourist, but
It, it's worthy of going to one time. Like every once in a while, if someone's like, "Let's go to the Mall of America," I'm like, I haven't been there in 3 years. Okay, it's kind of cool. There's a amusement park in the middle of it.
yeah,
If you have kids, it's a fun place to take them to. It's not cheap, but
fair,
so. But
fair.
yeah, if you come to Minnesota and you're meeting up with Carl Anthony Towns and meet at the same time, it's okay. You can let that
Yeah,
happen.
yeah, man. I definitely like I said, like I definitely will let you know. So
No
hopefully,
pressure though.
I know. Hopefully, we can make that happen sooner than later. Like I said, like it's really like I said, like wife, because like she wants to, show me around up there too. So,
Yeah, I'm excited for it, and I said I'll visit you in Kentucky, and I still owe you that trip.
yeah,
I'm hoping everything can stay stable where I can actually come visit you guys.
yeah,
Our
man. I mean, and then
our net
especially when we get a house, man, you got somewhere to stay. So
Wonderful. I know.
yeah,
We're planning. We've been planning a kind of like a road trip to Maine because my wife really wants to go to Maine and kind of go to the coast up there. And also,
yeah.
she's a huge Stephen King fan, and that's like the only books author I've like read was Stephen King. So she wants to
Okay.
do kind of like a Stephen King tour, and I'm like, okay, well, we gotta take a road trip to Kentucky. She's like, that's so far the way. I'm like, no, we gotta take a road trip to Kentucky. We gotta go see Kevin.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
I
man.
told them I was gonna come visit. I still intend on making that happen.
Yeah, well, man, like I said, like you and your wife are both welcome, and your daughter too. If you bring her and your son, but
I don't think you're aware of what you're inviting. Like
yeah,
I love them. They're a lot though.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what's today? I was going to say, like, so, like, y'all trying to go to Maine. Uh, do either of you like seafood?
Oh, I love seafood. My wife
Okay,
is so, but seafood, yes, wonderful.
okay, because my in-laws they went to Maine the end of June for their
Okay.
anniversary, like it was like a late anniversary trip or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so um yeah, so like they could probably, like I said, like whenever you guys go, like hit me up, I'll send you my number again or whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
hit me up so that I can, send you some suggestions, maybe like for good seafood and stuff like that, because I'm sure
Yeah, I'd
it's
be
way
down.
fresher out there and all the stuff. So
I
yeah.
love me for some fresh free seafood. Like going out in the coast, San Francisco had some of the best sushi I ever had. Alaska when I did that for my own honeymoon. See,
Hmm.
I just realized I'm like, man, I'm jealous of this honeymoon, but I'm like, I went to Alaska and had like 300 people at my wedding. I should probably shut the fuck up.
I mean that's awesome. I've never been to Alaska, so I mean I would.
Gorgeous country or gorgeous state. It's just yeah, it goes from like clear blue ocean to like mountains instantaneously, and it's cool to see.
It's awesome.
Tell me about your honeymoon. Where did you go?
Okay. Okay. So, so we started out from we flew out of Cincinnati. We went from Cincinnati to DC,
Hmm.
and then from DC we flew to Germany, to Munich, Germany, where we had a
Oh,
layover.
right.
Yeah, and then from Munich, we and Munich is awesome, man. I feel like I would tell people if you're for some like so you just want to go to Germany, like so like Munich is like honestly like so cool. Like it's like a bunch of like folks that you would normally like so it's like a really cool like melting pot of people, like you know what I'm saying,
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
so We had a lot of
Kind of like
fun.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, exactly. So, um, but um, but yeah, we had a lot of fun. So, um,
How
oh
long were
man,
you in Munich?
what?
How long were you in Munich?
We had a layover there. So we had a layover in Munich, and then we left from Munich to Corfu, Greece.
Okay.
That's where our first big stop was
Corfu,
Corfu, Greece.
Greece.
Yeah.
I'm
So
trying. I'm like I put up a map and I'm trying to follow along with the map.
yeah, yeah. So
You might
yeah,
have to help
Corfu.
me out. You might have to help me out with Corfu.
It's look for Albania because subsequently, while we were in Corfu, we visited Albania.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh, I
uh,
found it. The island. Oh, nice. Okay.
yes. So we stayed in this really nice resort, and it was just beautiful, man. So we were there like 5 or 6 days. Um, and like I said, subsequently, while we were there, we visited Albania. Dude, I'll tell you about Albania, dude.
Yes, please.
It was very fucking hot. I mean, it was hot in Corfu too, but like it
Hmm.
was very fucking hot. And like you just like from our experience, it's just like it was just like a bunch of like people that were like trying to like rip you off and like because they
Hmm.
knew that you were like a tourist and that you
Yeah.
didn't know, like so like it was interesting.
Oh, look, Americans. Let's get their
Yeah,
money.
exactly. Like we even had this weird thing where this lady, like, we were trying to go to the ATM to, try to get some cash out or whatever, and like this lady, she had went to that same ATM before us and she didn't get money out of it. And then she tried to accuse me and my wife of taking the money that she was supposed to get. And like she like tried to like even like chase us down and basically like you stole my money. And we were like, no, the fuck we didn't. Like I said, like, do you know how a fucking ATM works? Like I said, like, do you like if
Hmm.
you don't put in your right shit, like so like you or if you don't have the funds, like it's not gonna give you like
Yeah.
and so like it was weird, but dude, like I think we got to Corfu. I mean, we got to Albania, and then I think within 2 hours we decided to head. We caught the next ferry out of that
Oh,
motherfucker.
wow.
We were like, fuck this. Like I said, I mean, it was beautiful. Like it sounds like the
Hmm.
beaches and stuff, but and we went by this one place to get like these dessert things or whatever. But yeah, man, we were just like, man, it's like fuck this. Like I said, we got to get back. We got to get back to civilization, i.e., Greece. So, um,
Wait, so you were on the island, the Corfu Island. So you took a ferry from Corfu to Albania. Where in Albania? Just like the town right next to it.
yeah, I mean, just like wherever the boat docked, because it's like it was a ferry,
Yeah,
and you have to bring your passport because you're in going to a different country. But
yeah.
yeah, it was like a
For
ferry.
my audience who doesn't know, the island, like the island that Corfu's on is like on the western side of Greece, and it's like in the
Yeah,
middle between Albania and Greece.
right,
So you could take a
right.
ferry to mainland Greece or Albania because the islands kind of stretches north and south that way.
Yes, yes. So, yeah. So,
Cool.
yeah, like so, Greece was amazing.
Hmm.
Said like warm. We had some, some great food there. Good experiences. Oh man, we had some of the best frozen yogurt. There's this place, can't fucking pronounce it, of course, because it's in Greek. It's in Greek, but
I'm gonna
um,
say I can't read
but I
any
could,
of the
but
names.
I mean, if I could, I mean, like, I could, like, if the name, if you typed in frozen yogurt in Corfu, like, the name of the place pops up, and I guarantee I'm guarantee you, it's the highest rated place on the entire island for frozen yogurt.
Okay.
So, um, like even the locals go there, so it's not even like us just being tourists and like, oh my, because like the locals told us about it because we were like looking and we were like, whatever.
All right. I think I
We're
have
like,
the name. I don't know if I can pronounce it, but I
starts with
think
a
I
T.
T. I got P.
P, yeah, P, yeah.
What is it? Papagigoris?
Something. Yes. Yes.
I have
Yeah.
butchered it.
Yeah.
Papagoras Pediceri Galat. Oh man, I'm butchering this all.
Something. But it's yeah.
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 Okay.
But that place. You're right. You're right on it. But that's the place, dude. Best frozen yogurt ever fucking tasted in your life, dude. Like seriously. Uh.
I am looking
um,
at pictures and videos right now. Oh my god, I'm hungry.
yeah.
Why did you make me click this, man?
Dude, it is so good, man.
Is it true what they say
Yeah.
about like European cultures where like what they give you is not a lot, but like in taste it was just like it's like a
Yeah,
little teeny bit size, and then you have a little bit, but you're so fulfilled because the flavor's so strong.
yeah. I mean, it really is. You could, stuff like so, like was very fresh. I mean, like they had um, a really nice blend. Like so, like you get your like Italian kind of fix too, because
Hmm.
the Italians took them over eventually and stuff like that, and
Yeah,
so um, but but yeah, like dude, like it was awesome. Like I said, like we had a beautiful boat ride. We did out there. It was like a sunset boat trip out there. We we what else did we do out there? Man, like it was cool. It was just cool to just like kind of like chill. Like so, like the resort was really nice and everything. We yeah. So that was our first leg that was there.
yeah. So
So then
Greece slash Albania, or no,
yeah,
Munich. Layover in Munich. Then you went to
yeah,
Greece, Corfu, Corfu on the island. I forget what the island's
yeah,
name is, and
mhm,
Albania for 2 hours. Where'd you go
yeah.
after that?
And then so we flew out of Corfu to Athens. We literally just stayed the night in Athens, and then we flew from Athens to Morocco.
Okay.
So yeah, so dude, Morocco was so fun, dude. Like,
Wait,
uh,
I have a question for you because I just made the connection. Did you go to Morocco? Because Misha has talked about Morocco.
no, I no,
Okay,
no, and dude, like I said, dude, if you have talked to her, like,
not recently.
man,
No.
dude, like I like lost like I reached out. I feel like several times and like
Hmm.
no response. Like um, I don't know what happened. I think we met up one time like in Chicago, but like
Hmm.
yeah, I was just like man, like so like because I that was one of my our people from
Yeah,
ISU. So, but no, we went to Marrakesh, Morocco because
America.
I
Okay, I
wanted.
got you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I think my wife had saw that, like, said like that people were just talking about how beautiful it was, and like, I think actually one of my wife's line sisters, who's Nigerian, but I think she traveled to Morocco before, and so I think that's where she stayed was in Marrakesh. So, dude, like
I'm looking at
it was
pictures and it looks gorgeous.
yeah, we had so much fun. I mean, like so yeah, it was warm. It was hot there too, but I feel like it was a different heat from Corfu.
Was Corfu like humid hot, where Morocco is more
Yeah,
dry?
like yeah, because of course Corfu's more like coastal hot. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So whereas Morocco is like desert or whatever. So yeah, man, we had a lot of fun. Well, I got a chance to ride some quad bikes out there, like in like kind of like the mountains and stuff like that. We went to this like it's like this supposed to be like this luxury like pool like kind of like area like
Oh,
that was out in
I,
the
I
middle of
I'm looking at your
camp.
picture. You on a quad? You on a ATV?
Yeah,
And you look like you're ready to go. I wish I could just. I wish this was visual because
dude,
I would pull it up right now.
dude, man, like it was, man, so much fun. Like so, like I think I even surprised my instructor, and that was my first time like on a quad bike. Like I even think
Really?
I surprised like my
Okay.
instructor. Like so, I was keeping up with him. Like I said, like and it was so fun, man. Like super cool.
Was it like
My first
sand
time, like
dunes that you drove on?
Yeah, they were like sand dunes, like
Mm-hmm.
mountains, kind of
Okay.
deal. So yeah, so that was a lot of fun, and then saw like a bunch of camels, and so that was fun. We went to the market a couple times and got a chance to um, get this like really like um, we went to, it's not a spa thing, but it's like, but it was at a spa, but it was like a massage. But before they gave you a massage, like they literally like wash your body except for like
Mhm.
your undercarriage or whatever. But like they literally like so like wash your body like head to toe, and and then after that they give you a nice massage. Like, dude, like you're
Hmm.
in heaven. Like I said, like you just feel, at least I
That's
felt like so
yeah.
relaxed.
That's
Yeah.
like my body's tingling now because I'm like, man, I really want that.
Yeah, yeah, like it was a lot of fun, and then we went to this place where they like perform like a show while they
Mhm.
give you like dinner and stuff like that. Kind of like
Okay.
medieval times
Oh,
in
cool.
Chicagoland area, but yeah, like so that was a lot of fun, and get a chance to like kind of see like live music and singing
Mhm.
and different stuff, man. So I will say though, for these places so far, like they're very like having like credit card and stuff like that puts you at a disadvantage. I'll say that. So like the more, I know it's very cumbersome, but the more cash you can
Yeah.
have on you, the better. Because it's just, you know,
I
it's
would
a
agree with that with my own travels going to Korea for 2 weeks. It was
yeah,
nice, like when you had to do credit card or you had to do like your own bank card. It charged you a lot. Where it's like, okay, it
yeah.
makes more sense to just bring cash and get it like get it to either Korean or Japanese when we went for the layover.
Right, exactly, exactly. So that's what I would, anybody that's going through these few stops or whatever, I definitely would say bring cash more than anything. So
Okay.
yeah, man, Marrakesh was amazing. Um, really liked the accommodations and stuff like that as well. So funny story that was there. So like we had with our accommodation, we had complimentary breakfast like in the morning, and so we
Ooh.
and then before I talk, and then after that, I talk about the hot air balloon experience. Oh
Oh
man, that
yes,
was
please.
that was cool, but like sort of like like terrifying a little bit for me, but it was cool. But anyway, so we think it's like say free breakfast or whatever, and like man, like so I been recently been pursuing like so like a within the last couple of years a vegetarian like diet and stuff like that.
Oh,
So
okay.
but I still eat like eggs and stuff. So um
So vegan, would that be correct?
vegetarian mainly, yeah. Like so I
Okay.
try to be vegan. I hope to get back to more like strictly vegan
Yeah.
diet, but for right now, like I said, it's more vegetarian based. But yeah, like I said, so we get free breakfast with our accommodations. And the one day we went, like I said, like man, like to say it like so like I just like so like chow down, man. Like so like I kept asking like for like more eggs and stuff like that. Dude, it
Hmm.
got so much to where like so like they brought me like a half a dozen eggs, like
Okay.
scrambled or whatever. And it was like it was just so fun. And then like it was so funny that the guy that was over the breakfast that like I said, like because we had our itinerary, we needed to go somewhere else, and like he
Hmm.
told me like man, like I was waiting on you today, man. Like I said,
Got
but
your
that
six
was
eggs prepped.
exactly, exactly. So yeah, so that was cool. But yeah, so then we went. So I think like our last day or whatever, like so we went on this hot air balloon. That was cool, man. But I had to get up super fucking early
Mm.
to do it because it was like a sunrise thing. And then also like the company that we were going with, they were making their rounds to collect other guests and stuff like that. And um, so that was cool. they we get to the site, man, and they're prepping the air balloon, hot air balloon. So what they do, like so, like a lot of places that you've kind of seen, or at least for me, anytime I've seen like hot air balloons, you usually see people like kind of like step over the thing or whatever, the
Hmm.
basket, and kind of in. Well, they had us. They put the baskets on the side, and we had to like climb in, like kind of like maneuver
Weird.
and like hold, yeah, and like hold our you know the straps or whatever, so
Hmm.
that eventually whenever they turned it over, um just I guess it helped like with weight distribution and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um but we thought like that was kind of weird, but like it was cool. So then like whenever we started like to like finally like take off. We had a good pilot or whatever. We basically got a chance to see like all of Marrakesh, and um, I don't know how many.
It wasn't a scary air.
It was, I mean, yeah, like because it was like because my wife, like she really wanted to get like different pictures and stuff
Hmm.
like that, and I was like, this is all great, but like I'm like not trying to like fall out this motherfucker, like so like
Try to avoid a
but
tragic air balloon story.
exactly. Like so, and I think we were only up there maybe about half hour or so, but it was cool.
Oh, I see a picture. It's not.
Yeah,
It's just you two looking down. She's like has like a half smile, and you just look concerned, man.
yeah,
You're
exactly,
just like,
exactly,
I don't
exactly.
know what I'm setting myself up to.
Exactly. So, but definitely glad I got a chance to do that. And so, whenever they brought us back, the landing was kind of interesting because, like, um, they
Oh
you land on
wow.
like these, like this, like gravel or whatever, and so
Mm.
like, it's kind of like a rough landing, like I said, like so you're just like, holy shit, like so, like what was that? So, but yeah, like so that was
Yeah.
cool. And then we had a nice breakfast because they fed you after. It was a nice breakfast
Nice.
afterwards. So yeah, man, like so like Marrakesh was awesome.
It looks
Like,
beautiful.
yeah, definitely had a lot of fun. So we left from we were only in Marrakesh, I want to say like 4 days or so. It
Oh
wasn't that.
wow.
It wasn't as long as like Corfu, but so then we flew from Marrakesh to Istanbul, and we didn't have a layover or anything there. We flew out of,
That's Turkey.
yeah, yeah, we flew from Istanbul, and then from there we went to South Africa, Cape Town, South Africa.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that was a 11-hour flight. 11-hour
Well,
flight. So
seems about right.
yeah, so that was
How do you
so
handle those
Kate,
flights?
man. Well, I feel like ours was kind of different because we upgraded like pretty much the whole way. So like at least for me, I loved it because you could lay out, and they
Okay.
fed you like actual meals and shit on the plane, and different things.
Mhm.
So
I mean, I took.
um,
We
I've
were.
been like, I've been like I didn't even ask. I was like, "Can I swear on your podcast?" Like, so I didn't
Yeah,
even
go
like.
for it. Go for it.
Oh, okay. Because I just been like talking. I just get into my and I'm just like, so like I hope he doesn't have to do
Speak
extra
like
work just like keeping all this out.
no, no. Speak as you normally do. That's what I tell people. Usually depends on like my mood or like how I feel. I'll swear accordingly. And
Yeah,
usually I just swear for like emphasis. Wow, fuck, I can't even say that.
yeah. No, I get you. Emphasis. Yeah, I get you. Um, but um, but yeah. So yeah, the flights, like I said, like weren't too bad. The
I asked because I struggled in because going to Korea, it was a 14-hour flight,
Yeah,
then a 10-hour flight, and I don't sleep on cars. I don't sleep in planes. I got like 30 hours of sleep in like 14 hours, and it was dreadful because I was trying hard. And it wasn't too.
Mm,
We were economy, so we weren't like upgraded, but it wasn't too bad because like yeah, they fed you. It wasn't terrible airplane food. Like the seat
yeah.
was for the most part comfortable. I just couldn't sleep because you couldn't. Those seats you don't lay out completely flat. It's like a chair. It's like a reclining chair.
Fine. Yeah. Yeah. Um, so yeah. But that was my first time, my first time flying, that long. I think actually from I want to say from DC to Munich had to be 10 at
Seems about
least.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say about 10. But yeah, so once we got to Cape Town, like I said, like was really cool, but like unfortunately, we went during and it was actually my wife's second time going to Cape Town.
Mm.
Her and her mom went uh a while back, but um we were there during Cape Town's winter. So it was a little bit
Oh.
cooler. It's
Yeah.
not like, yeah, it's not like, definitely not like Minneapolis or Chicago winter. Um, but yeah, but it was a little bit cooler. But because of that, certain things like so I really wanted to go to Robben Island, Nelson Mandela stuff or whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
like every time we booked a tour or whatever, like to try to get because you had to take a ferry to get out there,
Mm.
they didn't feel comfortable like having people out on the water and stuff like that.
Mm.
So couldn't go out there. But we I feel like so we still had like said a pretty good experience. I mean the accommodations were really nice. Um the It's more modern. Cape Town is more modern than actually so there was places in Cape Town like where like your cash was actually no good because they were cashless.
Oh,
So like yeah,
you
so
needed your
they were
credit
like
card then.
exactly and and you could catch like Ubers and stuff. We did like a bunch of Uber Eats and like
Hmm.
stuff was like super cheap. Like
You
over
wouldn't
there
imagine it. Like you would have
yeah
imagined Cape Town would be modern. I thought of it would be not like shacks, but just more of like a mixture of like you have modern areas, but then you would have the
yeah
history.
Yeah, I mean, and that is interesting for us too. I mean, because they do have those places, like so, like we did go to like a local place. Well, I did because my wife had done it before, like a township
Hmm.
area, and kind of got a chance to walk around there a little bit, and with one of the guides and stuff. So excuse me. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. Kind of, it was very eye opening. Um, I really felt like I got a different perspective. It was cool to be the majority for once.
Yeah.
Um, so that was really cool. Um, and yeah, um,
How I'm curious to like how would you describe that feeling where like because in America you're usually the minority as
right,
you know African American male.
right,
I forget
exactly.
I forget like if what is the term black or is it African American? And I
Either
don't
one
mean
is either
okay.
one is.
So
So yeah, we so like I said, like that was a cool experience. Like so, like for me,
mhm.
um, because like so, like that was the first time I'd experienced something like that, and it like it honestly sometimes like so like reminded me back home, like in Chicago in some areas, and then there was other things where it's like it shows you the resiliency of like people and um um definitely showed some sophistication and stuff like that. But I mean, like, um, and I would love to go back, even to see like Johannesburg, which is like
Hmm.
a 4 hour, it's like a 4 hour flight. I want to say to from Cape Town, which is how big South Africa is. But
Yeah, I'm like looking. I'm trying to find it on the map, and I'm like, you wouldn't think it's that big, but then you're like, oh
yeah,
shit. Actually,
yeah,
Africa's huge.
yeah. No, Africa is very, very huge. Um,
I mean,
but
you're
yeah, man,
you were on two different ends of Africa too. You were in Morocco and
right?
South Africa, and I'm guessing they were completely two different, like
They
vastly
were,
different.
yeah, yeah, they were. So that was interesting. Like, so, like culturally, I feel like, because like in Marrakesh, like a lot of the population is Muslim.
Okay.
So of course, like I said, like you know, I mean, it's not like women have to be like, it's not like we were like in Saudi Arabia or anything, but it was
Hmm.
just like, um, but that was something that some people observed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Uh, Whereas like in Cape Town, like I said, like um, it didn't feel like a New York. It kind of felt like, I don't know. I felt like it maybe kind of felt like Chicago-ish in the
Hmm.
sense, like because like it's spread out. Like people are not all like on top of themselves, but then you have like
Yeah.
areas that are nice, and then you have areas that are not as nice as the others, and um, so you know. Oh, went to Table Mountain. That was cool.
Table
Um,
Mountain.
Table Mountain, yeah. So it's like one of the eighth wonders or some shit, whatever. But anyway,
Eighth,
because they have
eighth,
to like brought,
eighth wonders.
yeah, something like that. Because
Okay.
they market it like that too. But
You gotta
um,
you gotta love the places that market like hey, they're the seventh wonders in the world. Well, we're the eighth wonder.
right, yeah,
Uh,
exactly. Like,
I went to remember going to like a waterfall. I forget what the waterfalls is called. I think it's Twin Falls. No, that doesn't sound right. They market it as like the West Niagara, the Niagara of the
mhm,
West. I'm like, man,
okay,
if you have to market yourself after something else, it's not as great. It was pretty beautiful though. But I just had to
yeah,
make that comment because I'm like, wait, the eighth wonder? But Table Mountain, it does. I'm gonna look it up. I don't know if I've ever heard of Table Mountain.
yeah. Yeah, I hadn't heard of it really either, but yeah, but Table Mountain was like, so like was cool because they had to bring you up like, so like on a lift,
Hmm.
um and
Oh, okay, dope. Yeah, because there's a
yeah,
lift, and is that like it looks like old school buildings, but kind of modern.
it's kind of like you can kind of tell like they're try to do like some renovations or
Hmm.
whatever, and stuff like that. Yeah, so yeah, that was really cool. My first time being on like a mountain of that size and stuff like that.
Cool.
Um, so that was awesome. Um,
What's
Again,
scarier, Table Mountain or the air balloon?
hot air balloon.
I would
By
imagine.
far. Because at least, like I said, like you're like still like on your feet and stuff like that. Like you're on, you're higher on the in the air, but you're still like on the ground or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, um, it was still like pretty like so like nippy and like cold up there, but but it was actually kind of cool because like certain other days that we were there again because of the weather and stuff like that, like they didn't let people up, so it was good that we actually got a chance to go up. So yeah, so it was a lot of fun, man. And
Sound
then yeah,
sounds fun.
uh, yeah. From there, man, yeah, we came back to So America, man, it was a 15-hour flight from Cape Town to Atlanta.
You
Yeah.
experienced a lot of long flights on that. Damn.
Hell yeah, man.
You
Shit,
beat me. You beat my 14.
Yeah, well, like I mean, like that. I mean, you know what? Honestly, like I said, like if it wasn't for the way we flew and stuff like that, like I
Mhm.
probably wouldn't have made that. I mean, like, and then my wife, like she's done those type of flights before. Um, so like, she had us, with the compression socks. She wanted us to get up and walk around so every so often and all that stuff. So yeah, she was
S-
she was really, really on it.
Smart. I didn't do that my second time back. I didn't get up. I definitely regretted it afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah. So she was on it. So it was cool, man. It was a lot of fun. Like I said, like I don't know when we'll be able to travel like that extensively for a while, but it was a lot of fun, man. It was definitely a
Hey,
lot.
it sounds like a trip to remember for like a lifetime,
Yeah.
and that's cool because I've had a few of those, and I hang on to them. And I remember like what my dad said when I the first like trip I ever did, because I got when student get like tax credits, at least for Minnesota, I
Mhm.
got like a 3,000 like tax credit, and my dad's like, well, put it towards your loans, save up, buy a house with it. I'm like, no, I'm going to San Francisco.
Yeah,
And
yeah, exactly, man.
he was
Go
like
ahead.
mad about it, but I'm like, if I die in like 2 weeks afterwards, what am I gonna remember? The bills I paid or the trip I just went on? Like I'm gonna remember the trip.
Exactly, man. And that's what it's all about, and you know, um, it's about making memories. And I think, like, unfortunately, generations before us, they weren't taught to prioritize that
Yeah.
type of stuff. It was more about doing the quote responsible thing and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, man, it's great to get out there and travel, man. And my wife and I, we love to do it. Because matter of fact, like I said, like within our first year of actually dating, like
Hmm.
we did a whole people call it a world tour because we were gone like damn near every weekend, like
Yeah.
um somewhere, yeah, like whether and we had things that we needed to do in these different spaces that took us there,
Hmm.
but yeah, man, because we went to, I'm trying to remember all the places, because that was it even built up, because that was actually my first time going out the country, because that was the summer that went to Belize for my birthday trip. So that was a
Dang.
lot of fun. Yeah, Belize was awesome. So we went to, I'm trying to remember. We went and we ended up going to Chicago. I know we went to Atlanta that summer, 2019. We went to Memphis. We were in Toledo, Ohio, or slash Detroit. We went to St. Louis. We went to I feel like I'm missing something, but we flew out of Nashville going to, and then we hit Miami going to Belize.
Nice.
So yeah, yeah, but yeah, man, that's really, really dope that, like I said, my wife loves to
Mhm.
travel, and so definitely something that we know, we're going to get a chance to do again. Probably not like our honeymoon, but
Right.
still something to look forward to, like on anniversary trips and stuff.
Yeah. That's really cool. I thank you for telling me your trip. I'm like living through you 'cause I haven't been to Europe yet. Made it to Asia, made it to Canada. That's about it.
Yeah, well, and those are two places I've never made it to.
There you go.
Yeah, so
Seoul
yeah,
and Tokyo. I got it on my list, and I sometimes don't even believe I've been there because it doesn't feel realistic at times. I'm like, no, I was there.
yeah,
Tokyo is only a layover, so it barely counts. But I went in the Shibuya crossing, like every time you walk across, it's like 1,000 people walk across it, and
yeah,
it feels that way. The only thing I hate about it, there's always one stupid American going like, yes, like in the middle with his arm raised with somebody else videotaping it. I'm like, oh, that's why Japanese people hate Americans. Like, that's why.
Yeah. Right, right, right.
It was also the week after Jake and Logan Paul went in like videotape in like the forest where people usually commit suicide. So
Oh,
there was a
really?
whole like controversy about it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my trip was interesting because like we went to go when we were in Seoul, Korea. We went to go visit the DMZ, but we couldn't visit the DMZ because they weren't open on Tuesdays. No, they weren't open on Mondays for whatever reason. And then like, cool, we'll just go Tuesday. And they're like, oh nope, Donald Trump's meeting with, you know, North Korea. I'm like, well, fuck. If
Mm.
actually no, that was the week before that or the week after. The week before it was South Korea and North Korea were meeting up for the first time in a while. I'm like, well, I really hope a war doesn't like start. I hope these negotiations go well because I'm going to be like
Yeah.
I was literally a mile away from the DMZ, and that it's scary because there is
I
like
you know what? I
there's
was thinking
bunkers
about that.
everywhere. The
Yeah,
South Korean soldiers had like guns, like assault rifles, and there was like a bell where it's like there was like a national like park for the Korean War, and it was a mile
yeah,
away, and you can see like fortresses like a mile away, and there was this giant bell, and my buddy of mine was like, "We should ring it," and I'm like, "I don't know how I feel about this after seeing everyone with the guns," and
right.
and it's in Korean. And he sent it to his buddy. He's like, "Hey, should we ring the bell?" And he's just like, "Ha ha, definitely not." Dot dot
Definitely not.
dot.
Right,
I'm like, oh,
right.
cool. I feel like ring
Exactly.
this bell
Yeah,
and you get shot.
probably. Yeah. I was thinking about that because I even think I researched that, like traveling to try to like to North Korea. I don't feel like you get a chance to travel like unless you're like for like at least not from the U.S. Like I feel like unless you're like the
Oh no,
president, like so like you really don't get a chance to get over there because they're like
unless
you
you're
like it's like
Dennis Rodman or something.
yeah, exactly. Like you got to be like famous, have like some type of connection because like you
Mhm.
just don't get in or out. Like so, like if you go
No,
there, you're not coming back. Like that's basically for what I gathered.
probably not.
Like
And yeah, they basically like if you step foot in like the DMZ, like that boundary, especially on the
mm,
North America or North Korea side, you get shot like immediately,
yeah,
like on site. And it's crazy to think about. Like, and they have like
yeah,
landmines all over the place. It's a pretty scary area, and I only see it from the South Korea side.
yeah. I would definitely love to go to South Korea. My wife and I might be going to Tokyo though because
Ooh.
one of her line sisters I think she's expanding. I think part of her role at her line sister works for Toyota
Hmm.
here in she works out actually out of Georgetown, but it's really close to Lexington.
Okay.
Um, but she is going to be out in Tokyo, I think, like from time to time or whatever, because they do business obviously out there, and
Hmm.
uh, so she was telling my wife and I that anytime she's out there, we can come out there and just kind of hang out. So whenever we get that opportunity, we probably might be going to Tokyo. So that would be
It's
cool.
fun. It's interesting. It's fun. They're not as friendly to Americans as Koreans are. It was
Yeah,
definitely a culture shock going from Korea to Tokyo because Korea is like it has a lot of influences from the United States, right? Like the military is a
mm,
huge private presence in Korea, so it's a lot of it's similar, and like a third of the population speaks English. Where you go to Tokyo, it's vastly different. Like the driving on the left side, they walk on the left side, and I'm so used to walking on the right side, being American, and just I
yeah,
kept running into people. I'm like, why I keep? I'm like, oh shit, yep, everyone, you know, they're used to like the left. Everything's
yeah,
backwards, and I remember like waiting in the hotel really wanting like food. I'm like, oh, we'll just order out, and like everything's in Japanese. I'm like, I don't actually know how to get
yeah.
food, and
That's
we
the
had
thing, though. Yeah, like international travel, like so, like some if it's not like an English translation or
Hmm.
something like that, you're just like, okay, I
We
don't know
ended up
what.
we ended up spending like 20,000 yen or something. It was equivalent to like 20 to $30 for like this mini pizza, and I split it
Damn.
between like my ex-wife and I. We like split it, and it was just like it barely covered what we needed. But like, you know what? F it, it's fine. We'll just take this and we're going home tomorrow. We'll eat on the plane. It's fine. But I remember going from like Korea to Japan, and
Yeah.
so the night before, it was, we had a huge like out of town celebration. We ended up going to, I forget what the area of Call Seoul is, but it's like the international market. And
Okay.
on the on like the side street of this like big street that goes through the international market, there's this street that's nicknamed Hooker Hill, and there's just
Mm.
like a bunch of places, where soldiers would, whatnot. So we went up to Hooker Hill because they're like, hey, we know this great bar that's with like really cheap booze, and you can play pool billiards. And so we did that for an hour or two. But the thing is, like, I found out that bar is like the place where like men go, and then women would come down and get the men and take them to the rooms. That didn't happen. But they had this what they call soju, and it's essentially like this vinegar alcohol that is kind of tasteless. So you put it in a Kool-Aid, and you don't even taste it. And I ended up having like two large, and they literally served it out of McDonald's cups, two large like Kool-Aid full of like soju and Kool-Aid, and I ended up having two of them, and they ended up cutting me off because I blacked out. And I
Damn.
don't, I don't remember coming to until I was on the subway. And so the next morning, I had like the worst freaking hangover ever. I can't have soju anymore. Like I tried it, and my head just immediately hurts. And so I remember just having this like the worst hangover ever, trying to go through an international airport. And then right before I get on the plane, I get stopped. They're like, "Why are you here? Why are you going to
Mm.
Japan?" I'm like, I'm just a tourist. I'm visiting friends.
Right.
It's a layover. Please let me through. I cannot handle anything right now. Luckily,
Right.
they're like digging through my bag. I'm like, he's good. And I'm like, I, I'm not used to being suspicious, but okay, I get it. Because
Yeah. No.
when
Overseas.
yeah, when you because you made a mention like you're being the majority is weird. For me, being a white male, being the majority, going to Korea or Japan and being like the minority, it's different.
Yeah.
I will say though, when everyone's speaking a different language, like on the subway, and you can't understand what anyone else is saying, it's like the most peaceful thing ever. Because
Yeah.
like it's just like a bunch of noise almost, and it's peaceful. Like your brain's just like, I don't know what's going on, and so you just go in your own little land.
Exactly. Um. Exactly. So. Yeah. I mean.
All right, move on to some of our nerdy topics,
Yeah. Because
or do you want to talk about married life?
where we're talking, I mean, like I said, like we don't want to. No, we can save that for another episode. Uh, like I said, I don't want this to be a 3 hour thing, and then we're both getting yelled at. So,
Oh yeah. Um. So me and you, I want to talk nerdy talk a little bit because I know you kind of fell off with Marvel and stuff, and I just remember watching Justice League with you,
yeah,
going to Justice League together, and just I remember like our feeling afterward, like, you know what, damn, that's a good movie. And the only reason I feel like I felt that way was just basically because DC's so dark. I think like
yeah,
Deadpool, oh, you're so dark and edgy, you're basically DC, and like Joss Whedon came up with like the dialogue, and I just remember like afterwards, like, that was fun. That was a fun movie. It wasn't good, but it was fun.
right, right.
So,
Uh, so yeah, it was definitely good to hang out and chill with that for sure.
oh yeah. But usually when we our nerdy stuff is usually sports.
Yeah,
That's usually what we get into. I remember I tell this triple. about our trip to Chicago a lot because we're friends from Bloomington Normal. That's where we met up. You're originally from Chicago. I'm from St. Cloud, Minnesota, and it was really cool because that's when Jimmy Butler went to the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want to see the return of Jimmy. I want to see the Timberwolves. Like that'd be really cool. And we went in the middle of the blizzard,
Yeah.
and it wasn't like cold. At least not for me. It was like 20 degrees, which for me, I'm like manageable, right? I'm used to like -10. What like like the Minnesotan that like wears a sweatshirt and like shorts for
Yeah.
throughout winter. It'll be like -10, and that's what I'm bringing to work. And
Right.
I just really like remember you taking me like me and you went. You took me to your I think your parents or your grandparents in Chicago,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it
It was my it was where my grandpa and my dad were staying. My grandpa since passed since
oh,
then.
I'm sorry to hear that. You
Yeah.
like it was great getting to know him.
Yeah.
I just remember what your grandpa said though. Is like because I'm just like in the Timberwolves jersey, and I think I'm in pants or shorts, and I just remember him
Yeah.
looking, and he's like, "Boy, where's your jacket?" And
Yeah.
I just remember it's like, "It's okay, Grandpa. He's Minnesotan. He's used to this." I'm
Right.
like,
Right.
man,
Right. Right.
and
Right.
I just started laughing, like, man, I'm like some kind of like legend as this like Minnesota boy doesn't get cold because I'm just
Right.
not wearing a jacket. I'm like, no, it's in the car. I don't like putting it on. I don't want to put it on.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
crazy. That was a crazy blizzard, though. I'm not used to like 3 feet of snow. Minnesota doesn't get a lot of precipitation when it comes to like snow. We'll get like a little bit of flurries here and there, and every once in a
Mhm.
while we'll get a lot of snow. But Chicago got hit hard the day before. It was like 3 feet of snow everywhere.
Man, that was crazy that day, bro. That was crazy that day.
And then
Um,
afterwards, you're like, I'm not comfortable driving in snow. I'm like, I got this. I know what to do.
right. I do remember that. I do remember that. I was just like, yo, like this is nuts, man.
And we're just driving along the interstate, and there's just drifts everywhere. And I'm like, I don't think we went through one. I was pretty sure I dodged all of them. I'm like, damn, this is kind of crazy. I just remember
Yeah.
driving like he's thinking I'm this like badass Minnesota winter like the survivor, and I'm just like, man, I hope I make it through this. And
Right,
like I'm
right.
driving your car too. I'm like, man,
Yeah,
I
that's
talk a
right.
big game here. I better pull through. We
Yeah,
made it
I remember.
though. We
We
made it.
did. We did. And I'm still glad that you drove because I was
Hmm.
definitely nervous.
Big tip: just follow semi drivers. They know what they're doing. They
Yes,
block the wind
that's
too.
what yes, that's what my grandpa did tell me about that. Yes, that's what I yep.
Yeah, I
Mm,
remember on the way to California, we did it in March, and we hit 5 winter storms on the way.
oh
So
yeah.
we left in the middle of a blizzard. We went to South Dakota out of the blizzard, went into another blizzard, got out of it. Nebraska got hit by a huge blizzard. I had to take over because the girl was going like 20 miles per hour and she kept getting like passed by semis. And I'm like, and I'm trying to sleep in the back, and I just pull over. I got this, and I just follow the
Yeah.
semi. And it's crazy because we literally drove out of the storm where it was like, you can't see 5 feet in front of you. There's just snow everywhere, and you drive out of it, and it's just nothing. Like you blink, and it's like no more winter. It's grass now. It was crazy,
Yeah.
but that was like the craziest probably blizzard I drove like from a long distance. But anyway, we're carrying off about travel. I didn't think we would be nerding about travel this much.
Dude, man, it something that I mean, obviously, I didn't think we were going to be doing that either. But I
Mm-mm.
mean, but hey, like I'm going with it because I mean,
Well,
this is one of the times I get a chance to actually talk about it. So
yeah. Okay. Let's finally get some sports talk. I haven't talked this topic a lot, but I've always wanted to. Do you still think LeBron's better than Michael Jordan?
No.
Oh, didn't
Did I
you?
say that?
I think yeah, we were arguing back and forth between who's better,
I
LeBron or
thought that
Michael.
you thought LeBron was better than Michael
Oh my
Jordan.
god, what? I,
No, I thought that you thought that because um, yeah, I was just like, yeah, like I was just like, I don't know what's like so why you would say that because I'm just like Michael Jordan is the goat.
okay, what? We had this argument. I feel like okay. Am I just remembering
I'm
wrong?
not trying to gaslight you. I
I
just don't
feel
know. I
like
just
I
don't remember.
okay. I just remember like it was towards my end of my stay. We were at a bar. We were drinking a couple. I had a few drinks in us, and we were talking
Yeah,
sports. And I was surprised because I think you were pushing back on the MJ goat talk for LeBron. I'm like, you're from Chicago. What's going on here? And now, okay.
yeah.
So this, I guess
I
this topic isn't as I need a LeBron fan to like argue with me on this.
yeah. I I think that for me, yeah, LeBron is definitely like. I mean, now that he's like the all-time leading scorer, like so, like I still don't see him as like the goat. I mean, like,
Mm,
um, I definitely think that he, is somebody that I strongly admire, and um, but I don't think that he. And I think sometimes he gets unfair criticism, but I think that he's very um, probably second best player all time.
yeah. Here's my take on it. Usually, I don't really care for this conversation when people are like, "Oh, it's MJ or it's LeBron." They put out some like statistic to try to prove it, and like, there's so many variables. You can't give me a statistic that just like proves like who's the goat because it really depends on preferences, right? Is it
Yeah,
rings, even though that's a team accomplishment? Is it stats, is statistics? Is it gathering? Because LeBron has length plus efficiency, but Michael
right.
Jordan, I would argue, has like the best 6 years anyone ever had.
Yeah,
And the way, if I was to build a team, I don't even know if I would take LeBron. Like, if we were okay, the scenario I always imagine is, let's say, how many years in the future when AI gets super advanced and robotics get super advanced, where robots can essentially mimic human beings, even on an
hmm,
athletic scale. And if you have like
hmm,
AI who can essentially become the personality of like former stars, and you created a league of like these AI robots based out the personalities of like and skill set of past players. And let's say it's
right.
perfect, like perfect technology is essentially you're resurrecting NBA players and you put them in the league and you had a
Yeah,
draft, where would you pick each player? And I think most people would put LeBron James either one or two. And to me, like it depends. If it's a whole league of like nothing but the best NBA players in the world, I don't put LeBron James in the top 10 of players I would draft.
yeah,
Simply because I think his game has a ceiling to it. I feel like every team he's ever played on has a ceiling. Whereas if you have great teams like the Warriors, or even like great teams, simply in the term of like the concept of chemistry, like the Dallas Mavericks, you get beat. San Antonio Spurs is another one. But if it's like you have your first pick is like all NBA talent, and like after that it's like all college players, I'm picking LeBron James number one because I feel like he could take a team of high school players and make it to the NBA Finals and potentially win it.
yeah,
And that's the way how I see it. I'm like LeBron James has a certain way he has to play. He has to have the ball in his hands, and he could play off ball, but he's best with the ball in his hand, driving through the hoop. So you can't have someone like Shaq, even though they played together, because he needs like a 4 and a 5 that can shoot, and he needs 3 and D players. Like he needs a certain type of players around him to succeed at the highest level. Then again,
yes,
he's also so good that he could just take 4 scrubs and make it to the finals.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that there's skills that like allow LeBron to dominate more than other players before him.
Yeah.
Um, like I was watching this video clip where people were saying like LeBron doesn't have a like an offensive bag or whatever, and I was like,
You got no bag.
he got no bag. I was like,
But he
this guy's
does.
out, huh?
But he does. He has a bag. Like he's all brute force. He's gonna drive and just like try to drive through you. But if you watch him, he has the ability to finesse some shots. He has the ability to step back and take the jumper. And now he
Exactly.
and now he's over the line on the three.
Right.
Yeah,
So I think some people try to discount that.
a little
But
bit. I'm like, I'll take his bag over 90% of NBA players.
exactly. That's what this guy was saying. That's what this guy was saying. So
Yeah, I mean, I still have Kevin Durant over him, but I feel like people forget that there's a physical side and a mental side. LeBron has the physical and the mental,
yeah,
whereas someone like Kevin Durant has the physical. Like he's probably the most gifted player I've ever seen play. Simply because he's
yeah,
7 foot, he can defend. He's a very underrated defender. On the top of the fact that he can hit every shot, he can drive on you, or he can hit the shot like a three from distance.
hmm,
But he doesn't necessarily have the mental capacity to like lead like LeBron does.
yeah,
So I'm like, give me KD on a team that already has a leader, like the Warriors. Then he becomes unstoppable. Like he's like the ultimate mercenary. He's not the leader. He's just like the best talent.
yeah.
Like he's like the rich man's Clay Thompson,
That's a good analogy. I like that.
right? Like like Clay Thompson is probably more talented than a lot of ones in the league, but you don't want him as a one because he doesn't necessarily have that drive. And Kevin
Right.
Durant, you can make that argument that he does, but he's if you can have him as like that ultimate two player with another person being the leader, that's your best bet.
Yeah, I mean, which is why I'm also interested to see like how some of this is going to play out with their new setup in Phoenix.
Yeah,
Yeah, with Bradley Beal. Like, so I wonder if they're going to have him play some of the one,
I
especially
think
not put on
so.
Chris Paul.
I think they
Yeah,
are.
I think they're going to have to because I mean, because I
Mhm.
don't want to put my stuff in the hand. Excuse me, in the hand of Cameron Payne.
No, even though that's what they had to do anyway. I watched a lot of
Exactly.
basketball back in May because that's when I was in the hospital getting ready for surgery. So I was like,
Yeah.
basketball's on at night. Oh yeah, I'm gonna watch heavily because I don't have
Yeah.
cable at home, so I watched Kevin Durant, Devin Booker. Those two working in tandem were magnificent to see. They should have never won any of those games, but they somehow pulled it off
Yeah.
against
I
Denver.
remember I did the same thing when I was in the hospital the first time because it was during the NBA finals. And
Ooh.
it's funny, like, I was like, you know, on the pain meds and all the stuff. And I was
Mhm.
just still like, like, so, like, is the game on or whatever? I did not want to miss the game.
I was the same. I'm like, I'm gonna turn it on. This is what I look forward to every day. NBA
Yeah,
playoffs. And then I would watch
exactly.
it in the morning, like the talk shows. Uh
Yeah.
and then
Oh, what do you think about the new talk show with like Skip and Shannon isn't anymore undisputed.
mhm.
I haven't seen too much of the new show, but like I've seen like highlights.
Him and
And then like
Richard Sherman or a bunch of other guests.
it's a bunch of other guests like Richard Sherman and some other people too. I'm just like,
I
okay,
Here's the thing about these debate shows. I used to watch First Take all the time, like Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, like those two. I'd watch consistently. But as I grow, as I age, and I turn on these shows, I find the conversation not great because it's so disingenuous at times.
Yeah.
As in, like, hey, LeBron James did something great. Is he the GOAT now? Type of conversation. It's like, can
Right.
we like can we get some new material? Can we talk about something else? Can we not be so dramatic with our takes? And it seemed like that's kind of what they were going for. So I
Yeah.
stopped watching kind of hot take culture shows. I think the show I mostly watch is Colin Colin Coward. I watch. I like his takes. I don't agree with a lot of his takes, but like they seem like genuine takes. And then I watched the Pat McAfee
Oh yeah.
show.
Oh really? I haven't seen the Pat McAfee show. Is it good?
Oh, it's pretty good. I really enjoy it because it just has a casual, friendly take on sports. It's not like the most serious, but it's fun. And they usually get some player perspective on top of former players on the show. And now, actually, Pat McAfee's part of ESPN.
Oh, okay.
So he airs on ESPN, but they have to like do a delay because they swear on the show. And he's trying really hard not to say the F word, but it's funny because now they like he'll say it and he was just like, oops, you're gonna have to edit that.
Right.
But on YouTube it's still free. You can watch it for free on YouTube and with the
Okay.
swearing involved. Him and Aaron Rodgers go every Tuesday during the football year.
Okay.
So you see a lot of Aaron Rodgers through that show. But
Yeah.
I just kind of pop in and out of like the YouTube page if I have time.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll throw it on in the morning. But it's just
Hmm.
nice getting a player perspective and just hearing different players speak. Like having a player who has the experience of the team game and like delivering their views based off that view, whereas it's usually just writers.
Yeah. Um. Sucked what happened to Aaron Rodgers. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that the whole idea that the NFL is scripted.
Yeah.
I'm just like, man, the NFL really fucked over Aaron Rodgers and the Jets and the whole fan base. Because they Aaron Rodgers to the Jets. It was like months, right? We're hearing this for months. They finally make the
Yeah.
trade happen. And this whole offseason, are the Jets going to be good? Are the Jets Super Bowl contenders? Are they going to be relevant this year? And you're like, all right, Jets football, or getting ready for it. 4 snaps in, breaks Achilles.
Yeah.
Like, nope.
Really.
Like the NFL just put a plot twist in the first like 5 minutes. We're
Yeah.
building up, we're building up, we're building up. We're like, yeah, no. Damn
Hmm.
NFL script drivers. It's Zach Wilson turn, like everyone wanted.
Yeah. Um.
I think
And
it's funny that the take of like that it's scripted. I'm like, but Damar Hamlin's loving the script from last year.
right. 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 Um. And that was some scary stuff. I saw that live. You saw that?
I saw the replays of it and I heard that like, yeah, it
That was that was some scary stuff, dude.
it
Um.
is. It's miraculous that he like survived. I feel like NFL would be changed forever if he passed on the field
Yeah. That would have been people definitely would have been shook up
for
for
sure.
sure.
Who do you
But
who do you have winning this year?
for the Super Bowl,
Yeah,
I think it's kind of too early to tell. Sucks that my Bears aren't, and not that I had them winning it anyway, but sucks that they can't
I
figure their shit out.
should have made
Yeah,
the I should have asked the Bears question. If Justin Fields sees the answer, or do you,
I still, I still like Justin Fields. I think that my thing is that I don't feel that he was given really a real fair shot
Mhm.
to be successful. I mean, yes, they've got some weapons and stuff like that, but um, I think that ultimately Justin Fields needs better coaching. He needs
I
somebody that's
agree.
like that's like a quarterback guru
Mm-hmm.
that is used to working with young, talented quarterbacks and can take them to the next level.
Yeah,
Uh, so
that's
whether
important.
that, yeah, so whether that's like a Liam Cohn, like they have out here at the University of Kentucky, who helped boost, the quarterback Will Levis or whatever, yeah, from last year, um, boost his stuff, or just whoever is, like I said, like is used is good with working with quarterbacks. Um, I feel, or like a Lincoln Riley or somebody that, because I feel like he would need somebody like that that can really help him
Mm-hmm.
get to that next level.
I agree.
Because I mean, yeah,
It's important because like with these young quarterbacks who have like defensive head coaches, it's like what are you doing hiring a defensive head coach? Like you're only really going to succeed if you have a quarterback, and
yeah,
if you have a head coach who's like a quarterback guru that can help like put him under his wing, give him the right tools and the right scheme that perfectly matches their playmaking. And I feel like
hmm,
Justin Fields doesn't quite have that.
yeah.
Did you
I think he's
did you see the comparison between our two quarterbacks?
no,
So last week, week two for last week for us is week two. When this airs, it's going to be like week four. But
yeah,
so Justin or not Justin Fields, Kirk Cousins threw to Justin Jefferson, and he threw it a little bit long. And when he threw it like a little bit behind, so when he caught it, he had to slow down and then dive for the end zone. But then he fumbled it in the end zone. And when
mm,
they asked Kirk Cousins how he felt about Justin Jefferson after that play. He's like, "Yeah, no, that one's on me. I keep thinking like if I just threw a perfect pass and led him into the end zone, it would have been a touchdown. When the fumble wouldn't have happened, right?" And then just they asked something similar about Justin Fields in the pick six, and he's like, "Yeah, it has something to do with coaching."
ah,
It was like, oh, okay. Here's the two differences between these quarterbacks. And he actually walked it back the next day. He's like, no, that's not what I meant. Like I didn't mean to call it coaching, walking it back. But it's just interesting to compare the two because Kirk's just like, man, if I were just threw it perfectly and led him perfectly, he wouldn't have fucked up and fumbled the ball.
right,
And then Justin Fields is like, yeah, no, it's all, man, I would have been better if I had better coaching staff.
yeah,
And it's like, well, he's not. I don't think he's wrong.
wrong,
Probably don't want to
right.
say it.
Yeah, and I think that was the thing. People were like, well, should he have said that? And I think he did eventually, like, so like walk that back, but
Mm-hmm.
he was like, put it on me or whatever. But like, I mean, he's definitely frustrated because I mean, like I know he probably has his own expectations of himself.
Yeah.
Um, so he probably definitely wanted things to go differently. And the fact that they're not is aggravating, but I
It's
don't
only
know.
two
You
weeks. It's only two
can't do it
weeks.
by yourself. Yeah,
I say
it's
that.
only
I say that in the when I was on live for one of the shows. I was online for a show last week. After like the O2 start, I was just like, just tank for Caleb Williams.
no.
get,
Yeah,
get rid of
yeah,
everybody. Trade everybody. Get the first round picks. Get Caleb Williams. Just tank. 0-2, yeah, we ain't making it.
dude. Speaking of Caleb Williams, because they're thinking that he might be similar next year, or the year after, is Shadir Sanders.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think about him and like what's going on out there?
Oh, and Colorado with Deion Sanders and all them.
Yeah,
I love that Colorado football is relevant. And
yeah,
I'm not a fan of Colorado, never like was. But I just
me
like the
neither.
idea of like smaller schools getting the limelight. Like they're getting, different. I just love the fact that like a different program is actually doing good this year and getting some hype, all because of Deion Sanders.
Yeah,
And so I really like that. I don't know much. I haven't watched any of their games, so I can't really comment on the play so much. But I love the hype. I'm all for it. I'm like, I'm hoping they go undefeated and win the championship. Like,
Likewise,
even
that
though
would be
I
all.
I am a converted Georgia fan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're in now you're Kentucky, right? That's who you're mostly cheering for now these days for
Yeah.
college football. My cousin lives out in Atlanta, Georgia, and I didn't
Oh,
really have a college football team. And he took me to Athens, Georgia, to watch a game, and it was really cool country out there. Athens, Georgia was really cool. Just the bar hopping, really dope. And I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. I'm like, you know what? I'll cheer for Georgia.
yeah.
And then a couple years later, 2 championships. It's weird because I'm like, that's my team, but I'm like, I'm not gonna claim it as my team because it feels like I'm just hopping on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
And I am a little bit, but at least have
But
some. I got some family ties to it,
yeah.
and it's not like I'm out here like hopping for University of Minnesota row the boat. We had the 1 year, and that was about it. I'm like, okay,
Yeah. Well, I mean, um, I'm a bandwagon Colorado fan, so don't I have no problem.
nice. Wait, what if it's Kentucky versus Colorado? Who you cheering for?
Colorado,
Ooh, all right,
Colorado,
that's fair. That's
uh,
fair.
because I look at it this way: like Dion is doing something that I've never seen in my life
Mm-hmm.
before. And so I definitely want to see that history. And even if he falls short, to me, that still gives folks, something to aspire to.
Yeah.
So um, I definitely would want to witness that. Because I feel like Kentucky's going to always be Kentucky. It would be cool now if they would play an upset like Bama or somebody. That'd
Oh
be
yeah.
amazing. But
Feasible. They were good last
yeah,
year with Will Levis, though. Were they not?
yeah.
Yeah, they were pretty decent.
hmm Um, yeah. So pretty decent, but yeah, and we're scheduled to be decent now.
Mm.
But yeah, so
Nice.
we'll see.
Uh,
They're playing Vanderbilt this weekend. My wife and
oh no,
her
we
yeah,
lost
my
Kevin.
wife and her dad. Nope, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Oh, we're here. Okay, you just like
I was
disappeared.
talking. Oh, sorry. I was talking.
Oh yeah, you're like
Um.
completely gone. And I was like, oh, oh. Wait, there's dots. Oh, there he is.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
No, it
I was
happens.
saying that my wife and her dad were going to Vanderbilt this weekend because they are um, we're watching. Well, my wife went to Vanderbilt actually for undergrad, and
Oh,
so it
cool.
gives her a chance to kind of go back to her old stomping grounds. But she's still gonna be rooting for Kentucky because most likely her seats are gonna be in Kentucky because he works for Kentucky. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
makes sense. I mean, the only time I've ever been in like an opposite, the away team's jersey was with you in Chicago for the Bulls and Timberwolves, and it was
yeah.
weird. I don't know if you remember this. I had popcorn thrown at me, but like
I
the guy missed, and I was like, "Wait, what?"
really,
Yeah, like so I was walking, like popcorn was like flying by my face, and I was like, "What's going on?" And I look, and the guy's going like this at me. I'm like, "Dude, you guys won!" Like this is.
right?
There's like no beef between us. You won. Congratulations. Zach Levine went off. Like I'm actually somewhat okay with this. And then
Yeah,
so like I had like, we were all eating hot dogs, and some guy was like, "You got mustard on your jersey," and did like this thing, the pointing at the shirt, and I looked down because I was like, "Oh shit, I probably have mustard," because like that's what I had was like a hot dog full of mustard. And I looked and like there was nothing. And he like did the flick, and I was just confused. But I must have had like this like mean look on my face because I just stared at him like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And he's like, "Dude,
Uh,
I'm sorry," and he just like ran off. I'm like, "Okay, this is weird."
mm, mhm.
Like so, yeah, I understand why you wouldn't want to like dress up in visitor clothes. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever see like the video of like visitors visiting Philadelphia. I feel like
Mm-mm.
we have because I think you were with when the
Did I?
yeah you were with when the Vikings played the Eagles and you were there to cheer with us if we won.
Okay.
And there was one Eagles fan in the whole building. They sat right next to me talking shit for the first like how many drives. And then after they were winning like
Oh,
21-7, they're like, actually, dude, I'm really sorry about this. I'm gonna not talk shit anymore because I actually just genuinely feel
right.
bad for you. Um,
Right.
but no,
Right.
I just remember the video of like all the fans like on social media, and I was actually a decently like Eagles fan, but I saw just how they treated Vikings fan. I was like, yeah, fuck the Eagles.
Hmm. Exactly. Exactly. So, I mean, I like Jalen Hurts and whatnot. I don't know if they'll be able to do what they did last year, but
Yeah, I feel like
um,
he's missing his coordinator,
yeah.
and Anthony Richardson looks amazing.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
all right,
Um,
so we're getting to the 2 hour mark. I think we should.
yeah.
Man, it was a great time talking to you, Kevin. Thank you for sharing your story. Your summer sound amazing. I'm just happy to like connect with you again, man.
Man, I'm glad to be able to connect, too. I hope that we get a chance to do this hopefully a lot sooner.
Yeah.
Uh
If you
so
if you ever nerd out on something and you're just like, man, I am really about this one thing right now, you let me know. You come on the show and you nerd out on me. I
okay.
would love to have you back on.
Okay. Well, I would love to be back on, man. So you know, just let me know where I can, listen to this and
Yeah.
and with more of your show.
Well, thanks for mentioning because I gotta do some plugins. So you're
Yeah.
helping with the outro. All right, everyone, thanks for listening in. This is Don't Involve Me. You can find me on Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere you can really find podcasts. We also do TikTok and short videos. I do a bunch of movie ratings, so please check that out. Trying to get back into it more. I was doing one a day in August, and now that I'm working back in school, my energy's just drained by the time I'm done. So I'm like, I really want to do it, but I'm like, still trying to get those videos out. And yeah, check me out on Facebook. I would say X too, but fuck X. Find me on Threads.
Yeah,
Sorry,
for
Elon.
sure.
All right.
No, we're not sorry.
That's fair. That's fair. All right. We're we are out. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Jake. Appreciate you, my man.
Mm-hmm.